Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.
Okay, so who wants to share for the, just share the phase 2 side. Shamir, you wanna go?
Okay, phase 2. So the item is I was an executive at NMAX. 54 people reported to me. What are the outcomes? Well, I managed a $100 million budget. I provided technical oversight and regulatory oversight over my area. What were the benefits? Well, I kept the lights on and I managed projects and priorities successfully. What did I achieve? A strong, loyal team, robust business cases that I developed for approval, and sound processes. What was the impact? We received approval for these business cases, which means we got money, millions of dollars. That's the second item was
Just so the first item. How you guys can see the wow? Do you see the wow factor in what he's saying?
Which factor?
Wow factor.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wild, wow.
Yeah. Do you see the wow factor in what he's saying?
Are you impressed?
Can you go to the what about this column? What did you write in the what?
In the what?
Yeah.
Kept lights on, managed.
No, here. What did you go on what?
I was an executive at NMAX.
Who cares?
I care.
No, who cares? But the minute you start to write number 7, which is the
Yeah.
impact,
Right.
we want to know more. Do you see how this can position what did you do? Okay, you want to go for a second?
Sure. The second thing I did from 2014 to 2017, we're talking, right? So an international personal coach. I had, I can't count how many, but hundreds of people that I coached online and in one-on-one. What are my outcomes? I helped at least one individual I know reduced her anxiety med. Basically, she got rid of it. I helped another individual overcome grief instantly, and that's what she told me. So those are the outcomes, and that kind of expanded. That was the general theme. What are the benefits? My clients are in better health and have a more optimistic outlook in life. What did I achieve? I actually achieved self-confidence in my abilities to be able to transform others, and so that was really in that particular 3 years. That's what I achieved. What was the impact? The impact is essentially just improving someone's life, taking them to the next level, finding breakthroughs. So that was the second, as a personal coach, what I achieved in those 3 years.
Okay, good.
The third one was business coach, which is an international business coach, an upgrade from YL. So in this, I was helping again a number of people. I think there are more handful, but there may be 10 or 12 that I really worked with during this time. And basically, the whole idea of the outcome was to help them turn their businesses around or take them to the next level. And what were the benefits? The businesses that they felt were not thriving are now thriving. An example is one of my clients was barely breaking even for the past 3 years when he brought me on last year. We've worked through the plan. This year he's slated to make close to $800,000 to $1 million net income because of the plans we put in place. Another client is slated to double her net income from last year to this year. There are some very simple things that business owners, and this is the coming to what is the impact. There's some very simple things business owners can do to actually double their net income, that they don't even see it. So I help find that out. So basically, it's improve business outlook and create a viable business, either for selling it into the future or just playing in that sandbox because they love doing it and they have the freedom to do whatever they want.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really amazing. Who got inspired?
I'm inspired. I read that.
Okay.
So, woo, that's just
The
cool.
point is, if you cannot articulate this, who can articulate it on your behalf? Who? Nobody. Nobody. Because people will stand and say, I want to be honest with my customers, I'm a business coach. Okay, then what? I don't care. If you cannot articulate the value you drive to the other people's business, and you have to watch for level of ethics and integrity about what we talk about. So you cannot lie. You can stretch the fact a little bit within the ethical point or ethical boundaries of what your business is. And I'm not here to judge or challenge you on your values. It's not my role. My role is just to facilitate a tool where it helps you getting out what you may not know. Okay? Can we move to the next step, which basically we go back to page 6. And can you spend few minutes writing down what are the sizes and answer phase 2 for page 6. On page 6, which was from year 2014,
Yeah.
if you can complete phase 2 portion of the table.
Like for the rest of 2014.
Yeah, which is basically what you had here in the table. If you come up with different activity, just add it under notes. 3 is just a starting point, okay? In 12 months, you should be done more than 3, okay? Because you eat every day at least 3 meals. And there's so many days in 2014, 365 days. And if you're done, go back to page 10 and fill phase 2. Because I want to just to give you a full cycle, because many of you want to leave early, so I want to just give you a full cycle of the exercise to make sense to you. So if you're done, move to page 10 and continue and complete.
Many of us want to leave.
No, there are 2 people who have a commitment to leave early. So I will just run the whole cycle, and then we can. There are more values in the end, but I will just these people to stop at a certain point where it will make sense to them. So if you go to page 10, this was the second. If you can fill the form, if you can fill. All the questions are the same.
Yeah.
However, you have to write different, you have to fill the spaces with different things. So if you map this to your business, and your business is like web development or graphic design or whatever, you can talk about how many customers, how many clients, how many design did you make. And if you went back to 2014, can you answer the impact? Can you answer the impact? How to answer the impact in 2014? Maybe by calling back these particular customers, or track their business down and say, I designed the website and the logo and the graphic for a business who went from $100,000 to 10 million. This is different than just to design a website. Okay. I also encourage you to figure out some questions for 6 and 7 in phase 2. So you may want to come up with your own questions. Like what, because when you quantify something, there is no generic qualification for everything. So that's why I have a blank in 6 and 7. So you can write your own tags, your own extra thing, your own customized identification parameter. So, just to get people who have been do you need more time? Yes. Let's just get to this point and say, okay, so how can I use this information to build a bio or a... We assume you will be able, and after what I explained, we can go back and continue 2015, 2016, 2017, which is, I want to do it for 2017 for sure before you go home today. So how we can track down this information back? So the second step, so this is the first step, is we do this. The second step, we call it aggregations. So in
What is that?
aggregation,
Aggregate.
you want to aggregate, which basically combine.
Aggregation.
Yeah, aggregation, which basically you want to combine similar expertise across the whole tree. Okay? So I will start at the leaf all the way at the forest, and you can pick up different colors. And you can say, I want to look at business number 1 or audience number 1 or activity number 1, whatever you are working on, and you say I will pick up one color for it, and then you will go back and mark what statements did you write in the table with this color. So for example, if I'm looking for life experience or activities you did with your family or activities you did for a customer, you pick up a color, let's call it blue, and you go back and circle every single statement or put underneath it some highlight to show what did you do in this field. When we do these activities based in tasks and we say 1, 2, 3, some people are very creative to say, okay, I want to do this activity, and to move forward. However, this is not the ultimate way to do it. So you should be able to have a way back from here all the way to the front, showing what relevant along with the colors. That's why we have so many colors.
Where'd you get that? I've been looking for that.
And I can tell you, I found this is one place, and I got it. And when I went back, it was like, I don't have it anymore, and they shut down the store yesterday. So.
Yesterday, okay.
Oh, Sears.
Oh yeah, I never seen it in Sears, but I went to check it one time, and I found there.
I would say
So now it'll be at the liquidation
Remember that
center.
this
I would say
weekend.
no.
They don't have it anymore. Like we went like 3 weeks later to get more. We couldn't find it.
I saw that yesterday in the store in Chinook. On clearance.
Where?
In the newer part of Chinook. When you come around the corner by American Eagle Outfitters, I don't know, there's a store like it, but it was in the clearance section, but it was in a box, but that many colors. Just yesterday.
Wow. So the exercise now is to go back through the experience, pick up different colors, and for each activity you did, you can circle or put a dot or draw underline, whatever you want to use, to indicate what the relation between these different findings, cross of different levels of extraction. Okay? When you understand this step, you answer the very first question I was asked. Do you want to have the projects here or the information here split over, or this should be different? It doesn't mean to be different. It doesn't matter. What matters now is I want to know through this journey what exactly you did. One good example, he spoke early on, he never realized that he was only working with family-owned businesses for 8 years or 7 years or whatever. He never realized he was traveling all over, and he visited so many states, so many cities. Now, what's the value of somebody went to so many states? It has no value other than it gives the wow factor of exposure to different. Will it benefit my business? I don't know, but if he articulate he went to so many places, I want now to ask him another question. So you keep objections away, and you keep the dialogue what? Going. Do you see how this will fit in everything else you do? So when somebody will come and say, I did accounting or bookkeeping or management for 1,200 companies, okay, can you tell us more about these 1,200 companies? Who are they? Where are they? How did you get them? Okay? So please go back and use the colors and mark down what kind of activities which matches And you can read at the very beginning on page 3 some of the suggested criteria. It say you conquer your answer to specific activities, benefits, and or interest. Use different colors and start the detailed level to the course level, which basically detailed to course. And you can identify different threads. You can add numbers. If somebody will say, I work with so many clients, can you add the number of clients cross of the whole tree? Because remember, this will be 1 here, 2, 3, 4. There are 16 level here. There are 4 level here and 1 level here. So there are in total 21 tables you are going through. And look at all the columns. Like don't trick yourself in one column. Just maybe look at all the columns. You may have different lines with more than one color. Especially when you have education lines. Like when somebody say I took a certification from somewhere, and he wants to be a life coaching, for example, the certification will work. And if he wants to sell himself as a business coach or as a consultant, the same education will get through.
If you want to assign it to specific groups,
you should be assigned to specific groups. So if your group will be like accounting, so which one related to accounting? If your group will be a business coach, which one in this expertise, which lines here will be relevant to business coach? So basically you take one color, you say the color now is red, is business coaching.
Yeah.
You go there and identify which one. Remember, when we do this exercise, we will be filling the whole 21 tables, that's right? It's not only 1 or 2 or 3. So you will be able to find lots of details to build a credible entry as experts.
so business coach is a specific segment, like what I would say more maybe perhaps as these are business related items, these are personal related items.
You can do it like that.
Health.
You can do it like that as a starting point. However, when you start and do your own online program, people would like to know how many accounting business you did. How many customers did you serve over the last 8 years? That's right. What's the size of the customers? Like what size of business did you help? You cannot say all over. You can say I helped so many in like less than $1 million, so many between 2 million to 10 million.
So wouldn't that segment just be business then?
It can be business, but under business you will go into a specific details. That's right.
I don't know, is it right?
Yeah, that's right, because the details will come from what did you write. So this can be business. Or it can be business bookkeeping. It can be business accounting only. It can be business operation management. That's right, because in business you can have different layers, right?
Okay.
should go to Crystal and have a haircut.
Who?
Crystal? Crystal Cruz. She's doing this haircut, so we should have a haircut.
Sure, I can walk in there and ask for a quote.
She's doing it in the school for free.
Oh, really? Nice.
And majority of the time, the one who will come to do the haircut is actually the instructor.
Oh, yeah,
They are
because
sh-
they have to.
So I had a very cool one. I paid them at the end because it was unethical for me to get to come here. Maybe it's more money elsewhere. So.
Right.
No.
So in my quarter will not really take off until the fall, because that's where the other two activities lined up. So in the first 6 or 7 months, I was doing nothing, basically trying to figure out what's going on.
You were doing something
Yeah,
because you may be doing traveling.
yeah, I was traveling, so that not in the first quarter though.
Whenever, right?
Yeah,
So when you force yourself to write at least 3 things,
yeah,
you will find yourself writing very interesting stuff. I was traveling. Okay, somebody will say, I was confused, I didn't know what to do. Okay, so what did you do when you were confused? You don't know what did you do? I went to courses. Okay, so, okay,
I
so
watched Netflix.
it doesn't matter. You watch Netflix. Okay,
What did you watch?
if you
What did I watch?
and what did you do? Because part of our personal story, it's a leg which we'll talk about. That we have the frustration.
Yeah,
We went in, we read so many books, we went so many classrooms, we developed a system, and I perfected the system to a level, and now I am what?
I see where that is.
Offering you the system. So this is the tool which will make it systematic.
Right, for you'll create your own story out of that on top of everything else.
Which what you create your own story is actually page 26.
Okay. See, I should have read ahead.
And the words to use for your story is page 27 and 28.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So
Got it.
but if we start with the story, you'll close your brain and your mind. You say, I wanna write my story. So what's relevant to my story?
Understood.
So some of the questions here, which what we did earlier in the exercises before, we used to ask, so where did you attend your summer? Where did you go for summer?
Right. Right.
If you traveled to Cuba, how many times? If you traveled to Cuba 17 times in 5 years,
Right.
are you now qualified to speak on Cuba travels or Caribbean travels? If you went to so many cruises, you know how many questions people will put on forums before they go to a cruise?
Right. Lots.
Will it be useful to go to somebody and say it's $20 a seat and you come for 3 hours or 2 hours online session to prepare you for the cruise? Is it useful to go to the cruise companies and say, you know what, you guys don't have enough time? You guys don't have enough time to establish educational package for cruises, and I'm willing to give orientations for you.
I think it's worthwhile to do that. Like if you've got, yeah, absolutely. People invest $20 because it's a huge amount of money they're investing in a cruise.
And is it 20 or 50?
Whatever it is.
Or is it the travel agency will pay you the money for it? Will
Right.
pay you $1,000 for it
As a value added.
as a value added.
Yeah.
Does it make sense? So I got so many questions. People will say, like, people will come and say, we are the experts. I say, how many? They cannot answer. How many? I have so many businesses. How many? There is no answer.
Interesting.
And when somebody will come and say, 1,000 business, like when somebody will come to me and say, how come you help a system which you create a system which is trained 17,000 plus in 1 year? I said, I have their names, phone number, and others. I'm not here to bluff, because it was a national system. We put the system together. I trained the trainers. They went in. They taught the systems. Yeah, they shut down the system 4 years down the road because they found out they don't have enough budget, because the government has a deficit now, so they cannot invest in the program. But my contribution was there. And when somebody tried to say, I have the Excel sheets which has all these people information.
Right.
Or I have the reference where you can talk to. Okay. Okay, so do you need more time, or we can? So the next step will be on page 26, which I'll talk about it later in detail, which how you can write this into a paragraph, and I will show you a few words and stuff like that. So before we proceed, now you understand the full process, that's right? So can we go and do 2017 in full?
2017,
Yeah.
not 2015.
No, can we go and start on 2017?
You're messing with our time. Linear thinkers.
No,
here.
but because 2017 is more current in our brain, that's right?
Right.
I know people cannot remember what happened between January 2014
All right.
to March 2014. So can we go and write the part for 2017?
17.
You understand now that almost 90% of the process, where we started and where we will end on page 26, which basically we will write down a little authority, and then there are some other help after that. I will talk about it. So can you
Page
go
22.
no 2017, you will start at page 9. So on page 9
Oh yeah.
you will write from January 2017 to December 2017, and then we do the same. We do phase 1 first, not everything, phase 1, and then we will go into the 4 leaves or the 4 quadrants. So we do phase 1 here, phase 1 here, and then we go back and do phase 2 and phase 2. Okay, so we'll keep the same routine, and this routine allows us to look twice at the same information. That's right, because when you do phase 1 first and you start to come back to do phase 2, you can still modify a little bit in phase 1. There is nothing wrong. That's right. So can you fill page 9, and we will share, 3 will share at the end of this step. So can you go through? I know someone on the table here will come and say, why we are not organized? Because your experience is not organized. Okay, we can do any year. We can pick up any year. If you have something continuing from the year before, you write this part. The activity you do are relevant to the time frame you work on. That's it. So can you remember 3 major activities happened to you on 2017? It can be family, personal, business. If you are focusing on, if you don't know what you want to do, right, the first 3 things come to your mind. If you are in a business already and you do this to grow your business, Focus the 3 activities on your own business. However, if you expand beyond your business, you will find lots of human qualities in you which people will come and pay you money for. And remember, there will be 3 shares, 2 to 3 sharing at the end. Sorry. You want to share, Marianne?
Pardon?
You want to share?
Yeah, I have the 4-year period. So.
That's okay.
So in one thing was my father passed away in 2013, 20th of June 2013, and there in the Netherlands. And why? Well, his lungs gave out, and I became a pro instructor. Taught by Larry Velmore in July 2016 in Colorado Springs, and that gave me more opportunities to teach different workshops. And then in November 2016, I became an advanced Psyche instructor with Robin Graham, in San Francisco, and so now I'm able to teach all 3 levels of Psyche.
So one thread I see coming across all of your sharing is the name of the flagship instructors you have been learning from them how to facilitate. So it should be a common theme to say, do you want to listen or do you want to hear from somebody who got trained by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over the years?
Mm-hmm.
This will position you in a place which is different than anybody else, because I'm not aware of anyone who can articulate these names. I can't. Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree, guys, around the table? How many of you, when they start now to write, they got trained, they will add, they got trained by so and so and so? So you see the value of sharing, like her own articulation is very specific on who she got trained from, that's right, or what type of programs. So I hope you value this kind of sharing, because it gives different perception about how people can say things, that's right. Rob, you want to share?
So 3 things that happened in January.
Yeah, and I know 3 for you, so I want to get.
But just of January.
No, it's between January to December 2014. 2017, sorry. It's the whole year of 2017 because we are here.
Oh, okay. I went further and went because I could do each month. I could actually almost do each day, but anyway.
Great. If you can do each month, if you can do
It's
each
been a long
month,
year.
if you can do each month and each day is great. It's more, the more information you have here.
Right. Okay. So I did 3 for just January of 2000.
Okay, so what are the 3?
So the what was finalized an elevator sale. Who was with Josh Tim, who was the designer and the salesperson, and of course the customer. Calgary and Carstairs was the where, and just company development is obviously the why.
Okay.
The
So you had one sale in January 2017.
yeah.
Okay. So now you count 1. So when you do the threading, coming back on the thread, you will be able to count how many sales happen. If you notice, when these people share, they share what's painful for them. So Mariana, because she values the family, like the very first thing she would say, if you give me a permission to share, that me and my husband lost all the money, but we still together. So what is the first thing she shared about her 4 years? Is his dad passed away.
Lost the father.
It can tell lots of things about her, that's right. This guy has challenges in his own business. Every time he shares what?
The challenge.
That's challenge.
That's what number 2 is. The
He
development.
closed the sale. Like he wants, like you can tell a lot, but just the organization. That's why this has to be a very safe environment, and people has to be aware that you are exposing your behaviors and your triggers, and that's why I cannot sell you anything here, and nobody's supposed to sell anybody anything here because I want to keep it as a safe environment. Do you see value in this environment? So if you see value in this environment, please keep it with me safe. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So it is a challenge because being that first one, it's like what does a sale look like? What do we need to close a sale? Like,
But
there's
this is
so
not
many-
a standard sale. This is a complex sale because how many people came in? Like you talk about so many names. So you can also articulate this. I closed a complex sale. The sale is
it was our first sale, which was complex. So,
Yeah,
anyways,
okay.
the second thing was the completion of the design for that elevator that we sold because we
Okay.
were developing it and selling it all at the same time. So that pretty much sums up the where and the why as well. Just again, company development. And then the third thing that happened in January that really stands out is when I met my sort of accountant, financial advisor, a lady by the name of Nam. And I met her. I met her at a networking event that was organized by Catherine Brownlee. And upon meeting her, I realized how much of a valuable contribution she could be to the company. And so those are the.
So will be a point in developing your own company. That's in January, you were able to recruit the chief,
The CFO.
the CFO of the company.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you see how this can play? Now, if we wanna, for the sake of the time, go to the next level, which basically will be page 22. So on page 22, it will be from January 2017 till March 2017. So here I had January till December 2017. On this page 22, I have 2017 to March. The same question exposes itself. Are these supposed to be different than this one? We don't care. However, if you try to look at a local or a smaller resolution, a smaller number of period, a shorter period, most likely what you will find. If you push yourself to the limit to write at least 3 things about it, you did great, you will either go outside the business concept or you will look into what exact details about the project you took over. What exact details about the customer? How many customer? How the website was great, you finish in this period. How the books was looking. How many meetings did you have with the customers here? Okay? So when you have this page 22, look at the period January to March 2017. What happened? If you're doing massage therapy, how many customers did you serve? Did you have a harder situation? Did you have a special case? Did you introduce cupping? Like I had a customer who introduced cupping to her practice in this particular period. So fill in the phase 1 on page 22 and write down what happened, who, where, and when. And usually the why, look to position it from the customer. Like try to get these questions to be answered from the customer perspective. So if you say why, can you answer why the customer came to you? If you say why did you do it, maybe because I have a good experience in this area, or it fulfilled my passion. It doesn't matter. Whatever answer for the why or the 3 answers together, it helps you to have enough vocabulary, enough context, enough statements to fill in, assume to be a wow bio.
So that's from January to April?
January to March 2017.
It's already helped last week too. It's already helping last week too. I choose some new things.
Yeah, we will, let's get to this sometime.
Okay.
Thank you. Now, if you're done with 22, keep going to 23.
I did.
Yeah, 23.
Oh.
So this will be the 2 years after, will be 2015. Yeah. So if you've done 22, let's go to 23, which will be April till June 2017. And if you've done page 23, let's go to page 24, which will be July till September, and page 25, which will be October till December. So right now we are on page 23, or finishing page 22 and move to page 23. And if anyone get lost, raise your hand. Yeah, if you are done with 24, you keep going to 25, or if you want to do it by monthly, do it by monthly.
I started a month, so just keep
Yeah.
going month.
Do it by monthly.
Like I said, I can pretty well
Yep.
hourly.
So if you're done with 24, move to page 25, which will be the period of October till December. Sorry, October till no, sorry. Yeah, October till December.
And we're still doing just phase one, right?
Yeah, we're doing
Who's the
phase
what's,
one.
where's the whys of the house, yeah.
Which page are you? 24.
Yeah, I'm going through. Like, starting with the whole.
Okay. Let's film. Keep filling. So let's just if we can stop now and let's just get into phase 2. Phase 2 will do it this time in a different way. We should be a group of 2 to 3, and we will have A and B. So if you can group yourself, I'm not sure how you're seated, you can maybe group yourself into 2 to 3 individual groups. And we want to start with, so who is here A and who's A in the group? So which groups are we? So both of you are a group.
Third group?
2 or 3, it doesn't matter.
Well, we go all three as a group.
You want to go 3?
Sure.
Okay, and 2 and 2. Okay, so partner A, can you raise your hands? Okay, so you identify yourself as partner A. So I want you to go to page, this one here, which is page, I believe, page 9. Okay. And I want you, when we say start, what will happen is I want you to go and share to your partner what's your, on column 1, what, who, when, where, and why. Okay? And after you share this column, partner P should be able to ask you relevant questions around phase 2, which is you can ask any of the 5 questions you have, or different question if you like. Did you get it? I repeat again. So we do this activity in a little bit different way. We will partition as a group of 2 to 3. Ultimately 2 will be better. And we will start with partner A. Partner A will share what you have been writing under column 1 for like 1 minute. And then partner B for another minute will ask questions, and partner A will answer, and you can take notes on phase 2. After this activity, we'll stop and we will alternate. Partner B will share column 1, and then you will do the same as partner B, and then we will rotate back on column 2 and column 3. Okay? When we have groups more than a table, this is how we can do it, because we cannot, just basically very long time for each one to share. Or okay, so who is partner A and who is partner B? Okay, so partner A start, and start.
So I have February and January 3rd. So
Okay,
we're
so my
February,
first week, and first move out.
when
Then February, June 2016 in Holland, and so I'm still
myself, Provis.
So,
And so that was the very first one I did
Wow,
at the time.
that's
Pretty
crazy.
scary that I've been to like Apple business. Why was I wanted some more freedom?
I
Do that with that as well as I wanted to RPCs were ended up using.
That sounds well in
Started
that
using that I thought I'd use for marketing.
So what was the,
website.
what was the impact?
Well, the impact was,
Thursday.
the impact was
Was there
I didn't put a what on.
was there an actual
why?
reason why you
And then
started?
I got into
The impact.
yeah, that and I disagree with
Right. What was the outcome?
So
so the outcome.
Okay, guys, hold on, please. Who did not have enough time in the 1 minute to share what he wrote down? Who? Partner B, did you start before the mark to talk and ask questions?
Nope.
So your partner B did not start. Here, you started asking questions.
Yeah.
So when we say a minute, and if you cannot fill this minute, it means you did not write here enough information, and you need to go back and add more depths to what you write. So I know that this group here, partner B, start to ask questions. I know here partner B start to ask questions. I didn't want to stop them from asking, but I want to go back and elaborate on that. This is a template or a schedule or a table, whatever you call it, There is no rules right or wrong. However, the more you have is what? The better to brainstorm about who you are and why it's important for you to sell this service or get this job. I hope you can see the value of this, just going through an interview to say who I am and what I did in my life, okay? So this is just a mark, like you should be able 40 seconds to a minute on each one of these. Someone will say, so how it comes? So basically expand your what? Expand your where. Talk about their address, their home address if you can. Okay? So now we go back to partner B, and partner B will ask for like 2 minutes because you also, partner A should take comments on his answers under here to fill phase 2. And we, in this exercise, we try to make phase 2 as interactive, as a reflection of somebody. And please, if the partner A will say something huge, give him a high five and say wow. And if he give you something which is you figure out you need more to know, grill him on more questions. Okay, so please, partner B will start now to ask the questions, and you have 2 minutes. So start.
We have 2 minutes.
Yep, because you have a minute to write as well.
Okay, so
So you feel that you really want to
that was the
way that you're proceeding as a
well, the
result
impact
of
of my
that.
father dying was also that I have no relationship with him. I haven't seen him for 28 years.
I think
And
it's
I was able to overcome and forgive him in order to
Expanded your thinking and also
help
your
him in his journey of dying.
so you revised your
in his transition. So
curriculum
he got
accordingly.
sick and I was called in and while I barely knew the man, I managed to go over there, forgive him,
This is something that you would do again.
and help him transition.
If you hadn't done it, let's say this is an experience that you would recommend.
What was the benefit of the website?
Go ahead and write or whatever you
Uh,
want.
The website added professional
Okay.
to the website. That was an upgrade on the
Have
website
you
that I
since
did.
then
So it's something that was more
contracted
comfortable
with
for
a joint venture or company?
not at this time.
So that is-
Okay, what was the outcome?
Well, the outcome was that
How much time do you feel you're gonna need to complete
I was
assembling the
Official
material?
title is machine operator.
Okay.
That would be
Oh, this is-
manufacturing, ship
Okay.
Okay, so 2 minutes mark now.
Did you achieve?
So question now to partner A. Did you have questions different than these 5 questions from the other from partner B?
Sorry, say that again?
Did you have different questions than question 1 to 5 than these written questions? Did you have different questions in your group?
I think so. Maybe as in,
What's the questions you have?
The first question I was asked was there any differences which caused me to move out? No.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else has different questions?
Yeah, I dug a little bit deeper. Like,
So what's
when-
questions
when,
you have?
When it was regarding the benefits, well, the company development, I asked what the specific development
Okay.
was.
Right, because he says, what is the benefit?
It doesn't
of-
matter why he did it.
No,
Doesn't.
I understand. So, but just to sort of explain that was what was the benefit? Company development is like this big umbrella. What was the development of this? What was the benefit of this piece? What was the development of this piece? What was the development of this piece? It was digging deeper onto each one
So
of those.
do you find value on doing it interactively? Do you find
Oh
value?
yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay. Do you have any new questions that you ask? Or different questions that you ask?
I asked if the training that Mike took, would he do it again?
or did you really feel the impact of doing that?
Okay.
Because it's going to be March before he can actually apply what he has learned and revise his content to suit this new learning.
I love the group. To be honest with you, I love these groups, because when you have these different questions, this gives you another affirmation that you can freely write more stuff here. And when you call someone or you want to discuss this particular, and this has to be confidential, you should write your name at the very beginning, and these are very confidential things, okay? Because if somebody went to jail, he will write here, I came out of jail, okay? So, as this is confidential, this will give you an idea. Like when you have your own thoughts, you limit yourself about what you want to write. But the minute you start to articulate and engage into discussion, what will happen? Other questions, other perceptions, other avenues may be open to do it. So now we are switching the gear. So now partner B will have the 1 minute. Partner B will talk about what happened in phase 1 in column 1. And after this 1 minute will be over, partner A will spend 2 minutes asking questions, while partner B will take notes on phase 2. Is it clear, this part of the activity?
That's for January to March.
This is where we have, this was
January to December.
Yeah, over the whole year.
over the whole year. This was page 9. Okay, whatever you wrote in page 9. At the end of the day, the time frame is irrelevant, because what you are looking for is what?
Feedback.
What's wow factors? How many customers I helped? How big? What did I do? What impact I did? We go through this exercise and sometimes have a complete blank pages. Like somebody was on maternity leave, and she's forcing herself to do stuff. She is forcing herself to write 3 things. They are not relevant to her business. It will be blank. It's okay. However, for different activities, it might be the more relevant stuff. So this is just a tool to help you organize your thoughts and expel more, come up with more ideas about what did you do in your life and how you can be a good service to others, or a good help to others, or a good employee of others, or a good contractor for others. Okay, so we can start. So now partner B will share
for 1 minute.
for a minute.
January 2016.
This is a work
I started in 2017.
Then I sold my house, and I had to move. This occupied quite a bit of my time
Kind of like
to
wanted to,
transition from that.
It was all
like I was writing to my
Reorganize
clients,
myself
tell them that, I know
because
you
I
guys
worked out of
do
my
that
home.
stuff. And I started seeing them not
Then
getting the same response
see
that
what
we
they
used to
want
get
apart
before.
from
So, letting them know that I'm here. I have about
No,
maybe
that I
400
don't know. So,
clients so far.
Brenda's partnership
So
for
they
me
wanted
just fills my wings.
So I got quite a few of my old patients coming back. I have a home office. So
Okay.
Changes in the presentation.
Now can we switch?
So I did.
Can we switch, guys?
Well, I just called the people up to let them know that I'm in a new place.
So partner A ask questions.
On my new office, right, So
The outcome is successful.
that's what I
So
said. Okay, so the
Presentations
what was the impact? So you basically you were investing in a move.
Yes, I was impacted by the move and I was impacted really hard. In 2017, to have for that because in July, I ended up moving again. So, yeah, for the past year, like year 2 years, like since 2006, July of July 2016, I moved the company down between 2016 2017.
So what was the impact on sales
keep the volunteers engaged.
Greater ability to function there.
So I went from maybe 25 to 30 a week to about 5 to 10 a week.
So we can say what did you achieve?
To want to confidence to go out of my way and really cater to the people who need this experience in construction. So I will be going to the Construction Association for Western Recreation. I will be going to major clinics to offer this workshop. We designed it that turned out to be
That's fine. I can feel it. I've gotten better. But in the same time, this is my only way of making income at this moment.
On the website.
So this is all I do. 24/7, right? So I study for it.
Okay, so the 2 minutes are over.
Like, you know, I study my clients.
It's very hard to stop you guys from talking.
That was kind of taken away from me because of my moves and all that stuff.
Okay, so I want to just give 1 minute or a few seconds for you to finish your notes. So write down your notes based on phase 2 interaction. If you have notes, you can write your notes, write your answers to complete the column 1 of phase 2. And we now can go to first to evaluate this kind of exercise or activity. Which one is more intriguing? Just talking to your partner or do it on your own? Which one you like the most? Talking to the partner. However, I noted a few things, like people got excited about what they do and they start to talk more about what they did. They did not answer questions about how many, what the outcome, what is this 5 questions, which is what's the size or volume or quantity, what are the outcomes, what are the benefits, what did you achieve, what is the impact. People are like, I heard few groups which they just start to talk about how they structure what they are offering now, not what they have been doing then. This is what's supposed to be last year, not the present, okay? So at this stage, we have to make a decision. Do you want to do phase 2 on your own, or you want to do it with the same group in an interactive way? Because we still need to finish at least what we started on page 9, that's right? You still have 2 columns here now, which you have to finish. So do you want to do it interactively or you want to do it on your own? Which one do you like?
What do you think?
Interactive.
It's the same minute, by the way, because when I ask you to write, I will leave you about 3 minutes. And we are on the borderline of 3 minutes. But remember, when you do it on your own, we have a group sharing. So the group sharing will be the same amount of time of mine. So I would recommend to switch groups. I know it might be a little bit difficult here, but I would recommend people actually to swap chairs and pick up a different partner. And let's do activity number here, which is this column, which is column 2 on page 9. And let's just do it in the same way. So can we switch partners, please?
Right. Will we partner? Will we partner?
Yeah, good.
Okay, so you can start partner A. Who's partner A? Okay, so partner A start. So you share phase 1 in column 2.
One of the things that happened to me.
Oh boy.
Like I started working on my first full-time job. I interviewed myself a lot.
So what and that happened
In February,
yeah, as I mentioned, we sold the elevator in January. In March, we were really entering into the project planning phase of the elevator. So what parts we needed to order, who our suppliers were going to be.
The
person to help me with that is one of the
do that so that I can just be without
So who was the suppliers? So what is the project planning of that elevator, what's needed, what requirements are so much, because I believe maybe to go along with like your game cards, there's similar ideas throughout the entire process. We would order some parts and verification.
Okay, now partner B can ask questions.
Oh dear. So,
we're talking about.
so what was the outcome of that?
You moved your house and you moved your
Establishing was
and
one of
leadership
supply chain.
And so what was the benefit of that?
It was obviously a big one.
Okay.
So that's, you started
documenting this year.
So what are the
Documenting outcomes to make sure that we had everything
Financial responsibility.
to make sure we had every piece ordered properly.
And so what was the benefit that you had?
Yeah, it's expensive.
So it gives me her portion was going to be on the installation of the elevator. We know that we had new distraction just so we did what we needed at the end of
So you had clarity in the process?
There's the clarity. So the advantages of having served our purposes was the first thing is the installation. We knew it would help ease the installation. Once we were to have everything. Thank you.
That is a huge.
Oh my gosh, huge accomplishment just of its own.
The
And
outcome
it
would then have
becomes part of the learning and teaching. It becomes part of the life experience that I went through.
So did you feel that you achieved
So
what you
it's
wanted?
interesting because yes, I've been very learning curve right from exercise. I don't think we did our the end of last year really documentation as well as we should have.
Okay, so now the 2 minutes are over. So please, partner B will start to tell his own part of phase 1. You can go ahead.
So I took the 4-year process, and as I became a pro instructor that year, and that gave me like another step in my processes, in my selling line. You know, because before I was only basics, so I only had one thing to sell. You know, to offer. So now, becoming a pro instructor, I was able to have another step. So at the end of the first workshop, I can have an offer for a second workshop. So that immediately increased my cash flow and my profit base, my profit. So yeah, and it also gave me a lot more clarity about how have different processes as well for people to work with.
So now partner A start to ask questions.
That's okay.
Why did somebody else take the pro level? Was it strictly because you thought it would open up more financial advantages, or was there
something you take with
financial advantages, and also more processes, being able to help people find more limiting beliefs and avoid their lives back.
Was that something that how did taking the pro level change from been very good.
what you were doing before. Was there any kind of a learning process in
I
that?
learned.
Oh, yeah.
So the why is also what you learned.
Yeah.
Was to further your knowledge.
Yeah, it furthered my knowledge and gave me a financial advantage.
Yeah, but also.
So
Something else.
when you came in there, was integration stuff happening with our country?
You did this first.
No, so you got me before.
Growth. How to make the personal better, personal development.
So what our experience is our perspective after training,
And
some companies are able to achieve more things
Oh,
in
okay.
1 month than they
advantage.
Yeah.
Okay.
And where did you take this?
So
Where
it's
was
In
this?
Colorado Springs. I had fun. My it was a hell of a program. I had a hell of a instructor. So it was very big personal growth.
All sorts of levels. Wow. And when, sorry, when was that? That was 2016.
16.
haven't yet.
Yeah.
Relaxation.
Oh, what impact has that had?
Well, I taught 2 workshops after that, 2 workshops. So I still have to.
Okay, so now we give like 1 minute for each one to finish your notes on this column. And just now, just a question like who got a different question, an intelligent question, which gives them more clarity. Give him or her more clarity. Nobody has new questions, or
Well, I have a new result.
what are the new results?
As a result of doing this. And the new result is that we are continuously on a learning curve. And for instance, last year we sold our house and now we're moving again. And there's a lot of distraction and a lot of disturbance in the flow of what I want to do. But it's also part and parcel of my learning how to deal with these changes, which are just huge, extravagant. In April, I became debt-free as a result of selling our home. I mean, that alone, I've never experienced since the age of 18. So part of change management includes all these life events that sometimes just hold us back from really moving forward with what we have to bring. So that's a huge nugget for me.
Wow, that's
And
good.
this exercise brought this on.
That's good. I'm happy for hearing that. I want to just highlight one thing here. Sometimes when we build businesses, people will come to me and say it's too much for people to come in here for. You come here on the average 4 hours and a half or 5 hours a week, because we come like 3-4 hours on Saturdays. We come like 6 to 8 hours on Monday. Okay, so my position every other Monday and every other Saturday. So my position is, if you are serious about doing your business, and you are busy doing everything else, this is the only commitment where you can come sit here and walk away with results. Because we in management, when we manage companies, we used to have this time for the management to make decisions, to work on stuff. And we used to cut time out of our days to really do our own homework. So this is one thing which come to you, like you have so many distractions. The only way to not being distracted is to specify a specific time and say, I will sit for 4 hours, for 6 hours, for 8 hours, for whatever hours, and I will work on my business. I will design a business, I will change my bio, I will design my program. I will do it in a different way. I will make phone calls or do whatever running your business. That's why I feel it's different because you devote. I congratulate each one of you who comes every time here because you devote some good time, and I wish you come up with more results than what you can do. Okay. Any other experience sharing? What did you find?
For me personally, well, 2017 was actually the first year I moved out and became financially responsible. So
Okay. So I'm financially free and financially responsible. Oh my God.
Still debt free, but you know, I'm renting. But that was the big one, is starting full-time work. And so, you know, the 40 hours a week, you know, having to show up on time wasn't difficult, but it's different. You know, the first few days are quite long because I'm not used to the 8 hours of work each day, and then after a few weeks you get used to it.
Good. Rob, you want to share? Did you have difficult question from Marcel?
No, both of them actually did good at digging in for more details on what the benefits actually were. Because I'm quite a generalist, and so it's good to have people dig in and get the nuggets.
And you have to remember, if you articulate the specifics ahead in front of your customers or client or any engagement or any kind of discussion, people will look at you, yeah, you know your stuff. Okay? So we have to break now.
Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.